We got some serious stuff to talk about today.
The dark side of precious metals.
So
on
dark,
the Crucible
man.
Podcast, episode 22.
People see these pretty coins and they think, this is all glamour and glitz. It's all pretty. That ain't it, man. There's a deep dark side of it, and we kind of got some good insight today, and we're gonna bring up some of the topics. But I do want to show something real quick, just a teaser maybe about what's really got me fired up. I'm gonna tease you. I'm gonna tease you real good. Guys, check this out. This is off of Alibaba. And Alibaba is a website from China. Jack Ma, multi-billionaire, he runs the company. And basically they make you anything they want, anything you want, right? And they don't care about patents and trademarks and all that because it's China, right? And they'll ship it to you. They'll ship this stuff to you. But look at this, guys. This is a Britannia 1 ounce fake, right? It's a copy, but it doesn't say copy anywhere on it. This is brass that is what is it? It's covered with gold plating. And
oh my Lord. I'm reading above it. I can see that is Britannia Royal Mint on the packing card, but above that it says 1 gram pamp is what I'm reading above it. But that doesn't matter.
Well, that's the first. So this is just a screen grab, but there's like 12 different items on this one listing, and you can select which one you want. They do have the pamp 1 gram Rosa bar. They have the 10 gram bar. They've got this Britannia.
Look at the price cut at 3,000, 16 cents a piece at 3,000.
So imagine that flip. You buy it for 16 cents. You turn around and sell it for $2,000. That's a pretty shisty ROI, but I mean, dang. So what do you know about counterfeits or diluted precious metals? Ooh, well, you got something. You're about to.
What?
You're looking for something.
I do. I just don't know where it's at right this second. I was just playing around. I don't know how good you can hear me when I get away. I gotta get.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I gotta get my big box of stuff.
Oh, it's in there somewhere.
Little box of stuff.
So I'll talk about the controversy.
Go ahead.
Right?
I'm gonna see if I can find it. It's in this little pouch.
The precious metals market as a whole, right? They've been facing challenges with counterfeits and precious metals, especially with coins and bars. Some counterfeits, they're designed to look identical, like exactly the same as a genuine product. And to an untrained eye, like when I first started, I don't know any different. And, I might spend $23-25 on a piece of silver when in fact it's really not. You have any counterfeits?
I do. I just got to make sure that. All right, here we go. So one of these is going to be fake.
I would say the really the crusty one. I'd say that one is real.
Okay. Crusty one's
probably
real.
Wrong.
What? I can't be walking around with a blast white Morgan in my hand?
No.
Huh? No.
Am I close? That sounds pretty. Okay,
that's the blast white. Here's your crusty.
Oh, that sounds pretty.
Sounds pretty fake. It's just dead. Listen.
It mutes out.
It's such a high pitch too, where the silver, it actually's got a nice ring, long resonance to it. It continues on.
Very nice, man.
So yeah, and I've got the same with peace dollars. What do you think about this one?
That's real. That one's real.
Okay. Let me see. Grab this one. Here, I wanted to grab another dingy one.
Yeah, that one's real too.
Okay.
They're both real. That's also real. They all look legit, right?
One of them was fake, and it was actually the very first one I showed you.
So I'm going to show this real quick. Let's jump over here real quick. Talking about these counterfeits.
And just real quick, these were bought as fakes. These weren't something that I paid for. I thought was real. There is a stamp on them. Bring it this way. Fake copy.
I see it. And that's important. That makes a difference, right? Because it's a copy, and it's a copy. No problems there. But what becomes a problem is something like this right here. And guys, this is Alibaba. Let's go just like that, right? This is Alibaba. And look at these things. 85 cents for a Morgan, right? Here's one 60
Bin 2.
cents, right? I'll take one here. How about a silver quarter for 69 cents?
Okay, but read that one because you were showing me this before. This one's actually labeled. Well, what does it say? It's plated.
It says it's
plated.
commemorative. Yeah, commemorative
Okay.
silver plated. Let's click on this. Commemorative
But
silver plated.
why exactly? They look legit, right?
And there's nothing on it that says copy. That looks like a worn down, crusty silver quarter.
Straight up says $quarter.
Yep. Right, and it's not the only one. Like, what else do we got?
There's a whole lot.
Yeah, Morgans all day long. They got older coins,
and there's a reason for that. It's older currency, right? That is just easily faked. You can, them old dingy ones I showed you, you throw those into a bag with a bunch of real ones and you're selling them. Maybe you got 6 or 8 real ones in there and all the rest are fakes. You know how, unless you have a way to test, or you have a scale, or you just flat out know that, okay, yeah, this does weigh a little different, have a magnet, whatever. But yeah, I mean, that site's being used to sell you fakes to put out in the open market as a fake, right?
Yep.
Shady,
just like this
folks.
one that we showed in the beginning. This is also Alibaba. If you want to go the gold route, they have gold. And how awful is it that this stuff is leaking into our markets? And it's ripping people off because somebody's out there dropping, $2,100 on this beauty.
On that.
But it's junk. It's pennies. It's worth a quarter.
This is the stuff you have to be careful with when you're buying peer-to-peer via. I mean, there you go. That's exactly what's inside. So I'm going to say Facebook has come a really long way with their private groups. You and I are part of them, and people tend to stay away from, shady stuff or there's different ways to go about getting that piece without having to pay for it before you get it, because you can't physically test that metal via online until you actually get it. Well, I'm not about to pay Joe Schmo $2,100 for a gold bar that he says is real. That's not happening. And a lot of those groups with their moderators, you can work those deals and have it sent somewhere, send to one or the other, or I send Husky my money, you hold it until I get it and says this thing's legit. Okay, go ahead and forward that money over to whoever was selling it.
Right, like an intermediary. That works great. Yep.
Yeah.
So
and that's just to build trust, right?
Mm-hmm.
There has to be trust built.
For sure.
And that's what's really, and then when people get into seeing people flip metals and they want to try and get it into themselves, that's something they run into as far as, well, nobody's buying this. Why isn't it? Well, you've never sold anything before and you're asking $45 for a piece that's a 1 ounce silver coin. It's very, very difficult to just jump in and do it.
Yeah. On the same note, if you're offering it for 25 or 22, if you're offering it under spot, that could look shady also.
Exactly. Yeah.
So with that said, there are authentication measures, right? Like Pauly just showed you the ping test. There are, what do they call them? The Sigma, you got the XRF. And then there's also, so this is interesting, third-party grading services. However, if you go on Alibaba, you could find pre-graded fake coins. So they're already with the label, they're with the fake, barcode and everything, and they look legit. They're fake. They're so fake. And
you think they're real because they're in that fancy NGC holder.
Yep. And you slap the NGC holder on a Sigma and it doesn't even read right.
You're
because
like, what
it's
the hell?
In plastic.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's not real?
Yeah. It's crazy. So watch out for anything from Temu. I know Temu has them also. Alibaba, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, watch out for those counterfeit coins and bullion. The interesting thing is, if you're gonna, and this is just me being partial to that technology, but if you're going to be buying bullion and you're in any way concerned about counterfeits, I would look at something like the new Britannias, right? All those security features that they
Yeah.
add on them,
Yep.
or even the new Maple Leafs have some good security
Maple Leafs
features.
do. Yeah. And just know what those features are and make sure you're educated on them so you can see that, yep, this thing's legit. If you're there and you're in hand looking at these things, there's a lot of key features. You'll need a loop for the one because it's really hard to see, but just educate yourself on it.
So there's one more factor on this one about counterfeits and diluted precious metals is something called gold doping. This is something that Perth Mint got accused of back. Actually, it was 2023. It was this last year. They had sent 100 tons of gold bars to the Shanghai Gold Exchange, and it was between 2018 and 2021. And I guess the Shanghai Gold Exchange was accusing them of diluting that metal. So it was supposed to be, let's say, 4 nines fine, and it was actually maybe 3 nines fine or 2.5 or something like it. It wasn't quite the purity that they said it was. Right. And you think about it, okay, if it's just in one gold coin, okay, that's not a whole lot. But when you're talking about 100 tons of gold,
yeah, that's a lot of gold.
That adds up. That adds up.
That's a lot of gold. That's 100 tons.
100 tons. If it's 1 ounce on each, yeah, that's crazy.
What weighs more, 100 tons of gold or 100 tons of feathers?
They're equal.
God, you said that. Thank the Lord. I bless you.
Yeah. Which one I'd rather have? I'd rather have the gold. Check out the full episode on the Crucible Podcast. Link in the description below.